Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Teresa. I do videos on whatever I want because I don't like putting myself in a box. And today I thought I would share with you guys the number one thing that I struggle with on this weight loss journey because I honestly was listening to Call Me Chris and Selena Spooky Boo's podcast, Can't Sleep, the recent episode, and they were talking about this. And I was like, oh my God, this is definitely the number one thing I struggle with when in my journey it comes to weight loss and just weight in general. And I was like, actually, this gives me an idea for my YouTube channel because I feel like it's just something that we all kind of struggle with, especially if you have lost weight with medication. And that is using food as a reward. So, throughout my journey, I've had a lot of noise from people saying it's okay to reward yourself here and there with food. And while that is technically, if we're going to get technical, I guess, okay to do, it's very easy to just abuse that, in my experience. Um, and so, in my past experience, I did work at a small business where they would have birthdays, and what they would do is they would get lunch on the company, and oftentimes it was eating out and it was door dashed, and then it was also with like cake or cupcakes and with balloons and a card, and it was just kind of like over the top, and in my opinion it was kind of unnecessary, but whatever. And the problem is from like December until March, there was a lot of birthdays back to back. And not only that, in December we had company like outings, I guess, for Christmas. And so you also had that. So you had birthdays back to back, and then you would also have like a company outing on the company as well. So you were eating out a lot. And I remember that I was not comfortable with eating out that much because not only was I eating out for, these people's birthdays and this company Christmas dinner, whatever we were doing, but I was also eating out because my dad's birthday was near Christmas as well. And I think maybe there was another like family member, like family friend's birthday or anniversary or something as well that we went out to eat as well. So like another reason to like celebrate and cheat on my diet basically. And I also had to see my doctor. And so we had the company Christmas dinner the day before I had to go see my doctor. And I texted the company owner and I was like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm on this medication. At the time it was just Fenterman alone. And I said, I'm I'm gonna skip out on this dinner because this is what I've been doing to lose weight. This is just, like my choice. I need to like be eating healthier. I don't know if I said I've been eating out a lot or whatever. Um, and I just kind of like went on with explaining that and whatever. And the company owner texted me back, told me she was actually on the same medication and completely understands with like, she can't eat much either because obviously like that's the whole point of the medication. But she really wants to like take us out. If we can split like a salad, um, that would be awesome. Since I actually don't think I was ever at the restaurant that we went out to. I don't remember. I don't think I've ever been there. And the salads were apparently like huge salads. So that like worked out just fine. But a really like weird thing in my opinion that she had said was like piece of advice is like don't change what you're doing before you go to the doctor. And she used the analogy of if you like have a fever. Oops, sorry, I didn't close out my email. But she used the analogy of if you have a fever and you take Tylenol before going to the doctor, then of course that's going to reduce your fever before you go to the doctor. And I was like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. However, at the time, I was trying to keep my weight down because I was like borderline, like BMI, like changing my BMI from being obese to like being overweight, I believe. So it was like a really big deal to me to like do the right thing and not like change what I was doing um, to help me clinically not be categorized as obese and instead be categorized as overweight, which was a huge thing for me because I've always been obese, especially clinically. And clinically, at that clinic specifically, um, if you go to the clinic, it adds 5 pounds. And so, yeah, I really wanted to be careful with what I ate. So I didn't end up, 5 pounds heavier, would weigh 5 pounds heavier. And, in the clinic note, be categorized as obese when reality is I'm actually overweight. I wanted that to like match. So that was a really like weird thing. And this is something that I realized like a lot of people do is they encourage people to, even though you follow a diet, that it's still okay to celebrate like with food. And I just have like a real like problem with that because little do they know a lot of times I've celebrated with food like just the day before or like 2 days before. So, and because like I'm low sodium, that's the kind of diet that I follow. Um, Sometimes it really depends like where I'm at for women, especially like where you're at in your cycle. And so sometimes that sodium can just be held for like 3 days. And so sometimes you can really tell it like in the face or something. And then, 3 days after, that's when you're kind of like in the bathroom constantly flushing it out, if you will. And so that's kind of like frustrating as well. Um, so I hope that makes sense. And it is really true that, especially here in America, we really do use food as like an award thing. And it's just so like dumb, honestly, because it's like food is such like short-lived. I mean, yeah, it's such a short-lived thing, and I totally think there's other ways to reward yourself other than food. Um, and something that I am so bad at is door dashing. I kid you not, you guys. I went back home over Memorial Weekend here in the States, which was last weekend. And then I literally just ate crap the entire week. I kid you not. I literally ate out every single day last week. And part of that is because with my job, I'm basically direct support for a company working with individuals with disabilities. And so I'm like, go, go, go every single day. And we're like revamping the entire like company, whatever. And so I was shadowing my coworkers all week. And so with that, a lot of them see clients like over lunch hour, if you will. I'm putting quotes there because we don't really like have a lunch hour. Um, we get like a 20-minute lunch, but a lot of times depending on your schedule, you end up eating with clients. And a lot of times that contains, eating out with clients. And so that's definitely an issue if you're trying to like eat healthier and like lose weight. And so Um, that's the really hard thing when it comes to shadowing. So, with any luck, and I'm not jinxing anything, I think I got my schedule now figured out. Hopefully, it's constantly changing, but I got it figured out where majority of the week I can be at the office and eat at the office and then go to another client. And so I'm hoping that ends up working out. And then only once or maybe twice a week I can go out to eat with a client. Um, Definitely for sure once a week go out to eat with a client. Other than that, I can be at the office and eating lunches there. So, yeah. But point is, a lot of people use food as, a reward, and it's just kind of like, okay, you can do other things to reward yourself. And so, yeah, especially, with door dashing on top of it, it's like, oh gosh, I really need to get finances in control as well. So, definitely working on that. And yeah, um, seeing my doctor on Tuesday for different reasons. And so I'm finishing up the prescription for Fenterman. So I think I have a little over a week left if I counted correctly. So like next, okay, hold up. Let me look at a calendar. It should be like not next week, but the week after, like June 20th, I should be done with Fenterman, and then should be good after that. I did realize that I gained at least 2 pounds since I last saw my doctor. What had happened was I went on Topermate, just Topermate, for a while, and we upped the dose with that, so that was 150 mgs. And then I ended up getting an infection, which was fun. So I gained a little bit of weight, which is to be expected because when you have an infection, it's kind of like, well, you got to eat a little bit more because your body needs energy to fight the infection. And then ended up with my period. And so that obviously was a thing. And then that's when I started, I think at the end of my period, then started Topermate, Fentanyl, and then went down a pound. So I've been going between like 2 pounds now. So, which is kind of to be expected. So we'll see where I'm at the end here. But yeah, it's just kind of been stressful um, lately, and so yeah, that's kind of just where I'm at with all of this. But yeah, that's the number one thing I struggle with is people being like, oh, well, you can eat and reward yourself, but they don't know that like 2 days before I just rewarded myself because there was something else going on, and I totally think, it's fine to reward yourself, for birthdays and stuff. Um, but yeah, if you work for like a small company and they're doing stuff for birthdays, then I think that's a little, you know, excessive, and you have every right to opt out if you feel like you want to opt out. Don't feel pressure to join in if you know you don't want to. So, um, yeah, I think it was a little excessive at the one job, to be doing lunches for everybody, and not like there was a lot of us, but I mean, to do lunches and get like a cake and then balloons and do a card, like, yeah, just a little excessive. I think doing a card is completely fine, and then like what we do at the company I'm with now is just an email. And I guess I've seen like little happy birthday headbands in people's mailboxes, and that's completely fine as well. So that's it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Happy Pride Month. I just realized it is June 1st, which means it is Pride Month. I will probably be doing some Pride related videos as well. And yeah, that is it. I'm trying to think what next week is like. I don't know why I have clients texting me right now. I don't know, you guys, if it's possible to like make like a private YouTube channel or something. Because I have been warned that some clients will find me on social media, which I don't really want them to. A lot of like my TikTok is now private because of that. Instagram's private because of that. It's been private, I think, for a while, or maybe not. Maybe I just turned it private, and then I gotta double check something else too. But that's why a lot of other things have been private. So just so you guys know, if this ends up, if there's a way to turn this like private or something, that's why that's happening. You guys, it's Sunday, so just want you guys to be aware of that. Nothing against you guys, it's just kind of for safety reasons. But yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. It's getting cloudy here. I think we are supposed to get thunderstorms here shortly, so wanted to do this before that starts. And I will talk to you guys soon. I don't think anything's happening next weekend. From what I can recall, you guys should be getting a video next weekend. I have a concert thing that I'm going to next weekend. And then yeah, everything else should be continuing like normal. So with that said, I will talk to you guys soon and have an awesome rest of your week. All right, take care, guys.